everyone. I'm not Gus. Hey guys, and welcome to our other episode of Comeback TV. Gus is not here today, but my name is Tanya Duproy. Maybe you noticed me all the way at the end of the episode. I'm usually in the form of a word, like just my name on the screen. I am the producer of Comeback TV. Gus is not here because frankly I'm better than him, but just don't tell him that, okay? Just please don't tell him that. Please. Anyway, here to deflect from the fact that I'm not Gus, I have my friend Joe Marrone here. Is it Marrone or Marrone?
Marrone.
Marrone. All right, that's cool. Joe, what is it exactly that you do?
Hi everybody, I'm not Gus either. So, I work at the University of Massachusetts, but another campus than here, the Boston campus, but I actually live full-time in Portland, Oregon. And I work for a place called the Institute for Community Inclusion. And we do a lot of work around employment and education for people with all kinds of disabilities. I work there full-time, even though I live in Portland, and I do a lot of work with various organizations that help people, both adults and young folks, get jobs. I do a lot of work with mental health systems. I used to be the deputy director of a very large mental health center outside of Portland, Oregon, and I worked for the Public Vocational Rehabilitation Agency in Massachusetts for a lot of years. But now I mainly work with like state and county systems people and program directors and researchers like the folks here at Transitions RTC.
Cool. All right, Joe. So I hear this rumor rolling around that you think that, well, you say this thing that you say if you think work is stressful, like if a young adult with a mental health condition thinks that work is stressful, that they should try something like unemployment and poverty. Aren't those like really harsh words? Well, why do you choose those words?
Right. Well, the words are just words. The actual phrase I use, it comes out of work I did many years ago, and I've done a lot of work around mental health and employment, even when I worked for the vocational rehabilitation. When I would talk about helping whether adults or young folks get back to work, often people, either the young adults themselves, but mostly the people working with them for mental health would say, well, you have to be careful, Joe, if you want to help people get a job, because work can be stressful, work can be very difficult for people. So it's not, the exact phrasing, I actually wrote an article, isn't try unemployment and mental illness and poverty. It's, if you think work is bad for people with mental illness, then what about poverty, unemployment, and social isolation? So the point isn't that you go try it if you don't want to work. The point is to say many of the people we are talking to in this video and that the Transitions RTC is dealing with and other people in the field are working in the field when you talk about employment and mental health, where anywhere from 80 to 90% of the people using the mental health system, whether adults or the young folks, are unemployed. And we know a lot from both research and a lot of work done over the years, not just in mental health, but in lots of areas, that remaining unemployed is worse for people than almost anything else in terms of their physical and mental health.
Well, I know I have a job and Gus has a job, and
even though he's not here.
I know. Hopefully he'll be back next time. Right? After he sees this, who knows? He might run away. But yeah, I mean, it's rewarding to have a job. So would you say that every young adult with a mental health condition, no matter what is going on, they should have a job?
I think everyone, no matter what their problem is, whether they have a disability or not, young or old, should see employment as a way that they're part of the society and part of what I call citizenship. So when you have problems and people talk about recovery and rehabilitation, that being citizenship and giving something back is part of recovery and rehabilitation. Now we live in a real world, so what I'm telling people is not so much that every job is good for you, because there are some jobs that are really bad, that aren't good for you.
Yeah.
So it's not so much stick at the job no matter what, or you're not good if you're unemployed, but to say that staying unemployed cuts off a lot of options for people. And that if you're starting out in your career, if you're 16, 18, 20 years old, even if you have a lot of problems, there are a lot of things that get in the way, but one of the things you should expect from people who help you particularly is to help you with things like what can I do to get things out of my way that are stopping me from working, because working is good. Just like you expect people who help you to get things out of the way that are stopping you from having friends or stopping you from having a nice place to live.
Right.
It's all part of being part of the community. And as I said, I really think in terms of citizenship and being part of the economic fabric of a culture. And it's not so much you're a bad person if you don't work. It's that work is one of the natural roles that adults operate in, just like having a family and having a place to live. And it gives you a lot more options than not working and having to worry about what's Social Security going to do with the check, or what's the mental health system going to do with my program. It gives you much more control over your life.
Okay. What would you say to those people, like young adults who have been told that they shouldn't work because it's either too stressful for them, it might cause like a crisis, like maybe they're in recovery and they don't want to kind of go back to a place where they used to be, or maybe they're afraid that they might lose their benefits because somebody else told them that?
Well, I think what I would say is you have to separate the real worries that you have to deal with from things that people are supposed to help you with. So what I would say to people helping the young adults is, of all things, you shouldn't tell people don't work, don't move ahead in your life, because your life's going to get worse if you work. That's not true. Now, there may be some jobs I would encourage people not to do, or not to try that again because that didn't work out well.
Right.
Now, things like that people legitimately worry about is, last time I worked I got sick, or I was worried about my Social Security benefits. What we know is that those are real problems, but we also know that not working and staying on Social Security also leads to problems. We also know that not working and not having much to do can be pretty boring. It's a lot easier to get into trouble when you're not working. There's also, as I said, a lot less control over your life. It's being in the community, not just by working, but by living and going to school and going to church, doing whatever, having relationships, is a way you meet people, is a way to get some stimulation. It's a way you really are engaged with things that let you take more control and help you make choices. The things that I worry about when people say, I don't think I can work, or my case manager told me I shouldn't work because I'm just stable now, is that you might be stable now, but being unemployed a long time and not having money over a long time is very stressful. And the fact that you're stable now doesn't mean that things aren't going to get worse by things you can't control. Whereas if you get a job you like, if you go to school for something you like, you have a lot more control over things. There are things that happen to me that I don't like, that are stressful, but I have much more control over them because I have my own income. I have a job that I like. I'm connected with people that I met through work. And it's not so much, whatever you do, get a job right now. It's that don't hold your own life back and your own hopes and dreams back because someone's worried you're too sick. Because that's just not true. We know that people aren't too sick to work. We know that there are some jobs that are bad for people to do. And so the choice is not don't work. The choice is let's help you get a better job. That's something you're more like to do.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. Well, thanks for interviewing with us today, Joe, at Come Back TV.
My pleasure, Tanya.
Yeah.
I'll meet Gus one day, too.
Yeah, I mean, but either way, guys, I'm glad that you tuned in today and that you heard the wonderful words of wisdom by my friend Joe here. And you deserve a comeback by getting a job and all these things. So thanks, Joe, for encouraging us all.
Thanks, Tanya. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye.